Hey, setting the stream up. We'll do a tutorial for team deathmatch. We'll assume that you're brand new and have never done this. Go to online, start from the very beginning. Online, go to creator. I'll do my best to take my time and explain everything, as I feel some of the videos out there are too fast for me and other people, or they don't have voiceover, which I find hard to follow. There are a lot of great videos out there. Okay, so we'll go to create a deathmatch, top left corner. You can do the tutorial. I don't know if I've ever done that. Just go to deathmatch. Deathmatch details. I'm going to go out to the airport for now. If you've seen that, pause, go to the map, pick your location, press X and it'll warp to where you want to go. So the reason why I picked this area is just because it's flat. There's lots of room. A lot of people build all kinds of stuff here, races, combat stuff. First thing you do on the top left corner is go to deathmatch details, title. We'll just get this over with. Let's give it a random title. And the description, I usually do this at the very end. Afterwards, you know, put team deathmatch, no helmets, when it was created, the style of weapons, any info that's needed. Do photo last. You got deathmatch type, normal, team deathmatch. You can change that when you're hosting it. Number of teams, if you set that to 4, you have to put extra spawn points, team start points, I think. But you can also change that when you're hosting it. Just leave it for 2. Maximum players, set it for 30, assuming you want to do 30. Minimum players 2. Target score, just shut it off. This locked weapons you can change when you're hosting it. But first thing you want to do is the forced weapon, the weapon that people start with. So if you're using assault, so you picked assault SMG as your main weapon, you should probably use that as your forced weapon and not a handgun, because it's frustrating starting with a handgun and then you got to run around and find ammo for the assault SMG. But make sure that's set time of day, current, weather current, depending on what you want to do. I remove helmets because people can wear those bulletproof helmets and it'll take 2 or 3 shots to kill them. And go down the placement, top left corner again. Place the trigger roughly in the middle of where you want it. It's different in races. When you place the trigger in races, that's where you start your race. This is where people will gather while the TDM is loading up, when you're betting and whatnot. Lobby camera, top left corner. Just press X to capture. Take a preview of what you've captured. I don't think you can have props in there. I don't remember. So there's spawn points. And you see on the top left, team 1 available, team 2 available. We got 2 teams selected. On the bottom right, spawn points needed 60. These are respawn points. You need 30 per team. So if I go back out and go to deathmatch details, go with 4 teams. I'll back out, go back to placement, spawn points. Now you need 15 per team. I usually leave these all available so that it cycles through them during the deathmatch. But if you have a specific deathmatch where you want the team to consistently start on one side, you might have vehicles involved or objectives, then restrict the respawns. So restrict team 2 and 3, place team 1 wherever you would want them to start. That little blue icon is your delete. Okay, I'm going to go back to details and put it back to 2 teams to keep it simple. Then you got start points. Team start points, there's 15 per team. You want, it's just where the teams start now. Do you want them to start opposite ends of each other, or do you want a close combat start where they all shoot each other right off the bat? But before we do that, I'm going to go into props and put some walls up. On the top left corner in placement, go down to props, press X. Now if you're not familiar with your props, on the top left corner where it says props category type, rotation, prop stacking, advanced options, I'd suggest going through these props and getting to know them. It's overwhelming, so don't worry about getting to know them all right away. These are, you can use these as floors or walls or all kinds of different. And you got the regular building blocks. And right under the type that I'm clicking on, there's category, type, gives you the size, or if it's in ramps, it'll give you different ramps, different types of ramps. World heading, press R1 to rotate it, L1 to rotate it. You change world heading with right on your D-pad, and you get pitch, R1, L1, roll, R1 and L1. Move it around. Then with your height, that's L3. Going down, R3, pressing in on the joystick. If you want to move fast, that's with triangle. See, that's with triangle. That's without triangle. Goes a little bit slower. With triangle goes faster. You got one more, the yaw goes that way. Oops. Below rotation type, I accidentally backed out in. Change the color. I suggest not making your entire creation red because it looks newbie. A lot of people call that the noob color. I didn't know for the first few creations that you could change the color like that. This is all very overwhelming at first. And then you got prop stacking, which means if I place this here, and I'll put this on top of this. It won't sink into it. But if I shut this off, now it's underneath of it. Prop stacking off, prop stacking on. I think this would be a better example. See, prop stacking on. This will sit on top of whatever you place it on and the angle of it. I'll shut prop stacking off and it disappears. Press square to delete. On the bottom right corner you got all your options too. I can edit this, pick it up and edit it, place it somewhere else, press place. You can switch the color by hovering this red icon on top of it with prop stacking off. Shut off prop stacking. Press R1 or L1 to change the rotate the colors. Square to delete. Just take your time to get to know these props. With this you will place this. And you have prop snapping. Let's turn this on, change the color. Prop stacking on so it doesn't sync. Turn on prop snapping below prop stacking and turn it on. And you can also rotate it. Shut prop stacking off, or otherwise it'll keep attaching to it. Unless you intended for it to do so. Then below prop snapping you have advanced options. Use override. So put it roughly where you want it, doesn't matter. Override. Go down and use your direction pad. See the arrow show you. It'll go that way and that way. Now go down that was the x-axis, now the y-axis goes the other way. Now Z should go up and down. You can sync that right into the ground. If you go back up to alignment in the top left box, go over the local, gives it more direct, it's not going sideways, it's going straight back and forth, side to side, and up and down. Go back to world on alignment, see it goes diagonally. And then you got this override position, I backed out, so back out with O. Go to override position on the top, the second one. Click on that. Go down to X. And it will rotate. Now if you're just pressing on your D-pad, I'm pressing left. See how slow it is? Press triangle. That's with triangle. We'll get out of this and get more to the deathmatch details, making a basic one here quickly. You can always skip over this part if you're not into playing with the props right now. And that's local. Slow the video down if it's going too fast. Or speed it up if it's going too slow. Then I'm going to back out. That with O. Back out again. And shut prop stacking off. No, that's stuck. Because I left use override. So I went back in override to shut it off, unclick it, see if that one is, deselect it with X. Now back out of override, and now that should be. If you want to delete these, make sure prop stacking is off on the top left box. And go right into it so your icon is there, press square. We'll do it again, square. I'm going up the category. I'm going to just stunt racetrack. Go down the type. We'll pick the longest one. Oh, and a general guideline for TDMs is one of these flat is probably big enough. Just as a guideline. Or stunt neon blocks or building blocks. Doesn't matter which one. If you go to the furthest, go left, you get the biggest one. That's also about an average. If the deathmatch is too big and you're pressing X a lot and running a lot, it can be annoying. Be a lot less shooting going on. It doesn't have to be exactly that big. It can be a little bit bigger, a little bit smaller. I don't know how much smaller than that you can get actually with the spawn points and start points, but we'll get to that. but I'm going to delete that with square. We'll go to this. I'm moving that way with R3, my joystick back and forth, and that's L3, it's slower. And I'll turn prop stacking on, change the color. Now press R3 so it's all the way down into the ground, as far down. Generally, go to rotation type, world heading over one with the right on your D-pad, pitch, hold R1, and see it'll flip right over. And you don't have that road on the top. Now go down to advanced options, press X, override position, press X, and go down to the one that says up and down. You can sync that. Press X and it places it. I don't think I'll bother doing that. I'll delete that. So instead of syncing this, I'm just going to place this here to make it easy. I'm using L1 to rotate this. Put this right here. Go L1, R1 to rotate. Press X. I'll hit the final one. See, that was way out. Doesn't matter. I'll place that there. And we got this very crooked box to work in. So now we've got a wall around us. We got our trigger right there. That's where people gather. Now let's go to team start points first. 15 each, so you can have them start 15 on one side, 15 on the other. I think it's funny to do a close combat start, so, and these you can start, these start points you can only have so close to each other as you see it deleted. Team start points, press X. Press X to place them. If you go too close, it'll end up deleting it, so you gotta be so far apart. Pressing X. And we'll keep doing this until there's 15. I think this might be too. Now, on the top left box there, this is team 1. Press right on your D-pad to get team 2. And we'll put the start points. This is where you start. So this is the only time you'll use these, is at the very start. And we'll put them right in front of there. Of team 1. Team 1 is blue, team 2 is orange. We'll place all 15. At the start of the deathmatch, they'll all be facing each other, kind of like a firing squad. Be a close combat start, 15 and 15. Back out with O. Go to spawn points. Click X. And make them both available. I'm not sure. This might be too small, but if it is, I'll make it bigger. So team 1, just leave team 1 and team 2 available for now to keep it simple. These are the respawn points. You need 60 of them. And it's always best, because the action is usually in the middle of a deathmatch. So it's best to put your respawn points on the outside of a deathmatch so you don't end up getting spawn kills. Because if you're respawning and everyone's fighting in the middle right here, and you respawn there, you're going to get killed before you get a chance to fight. So go to the edge here. Team 1. See how it's red? This is how far apart these have to be. This is why you have to plan out the size of your deathmatch. There's no way I can place this in the middle here. We got 3. If you understand what I'm doing, you might want to just fast forward until all 60 are placed. Team 2, we need 30 more. See, we covered that wall, and half of that wall. So this area would be, I think, would be too small for a deathmatch. I could have went into the town and in the city and covered a little area with buildings and stuff, but this will work just to show you what to do. So keep going with the respawns all the way around. It doesn't matter if these are next to each other, these are respawns. And if you leave them both available throughout your 10 minutes, you will be alternating respawns throughout. Now we've made a full square. We still got 15 left. So just move up a bit so you can't go too close. You have to be about that far apart. And also this little pointer, that shows you which way they'll be facing when they respawn. You probably don't want them facing a wall, so make all these pointing out towards where the direction they should be running. There, we got 60 respawns and 30 start points. Now, pickups. What weapons? I'm going to back up and go to deathmatch detail. We had our forced weapon as assault SMG. So back out, go back to placement, go to pickups, and I'm pressing right on the D-pad on the top left where it says pickups and category. It's probably in here. We want the same weapon as our start assault SMG. You don't have to put all 60, you can put 60 pickups total, including explosives and body armor and health. So be a good idea to put, well, these guys won't necessarily need much ammo. You do start with ammo, so I like putting ammo near the respawns. I'm just going to cruise through this. I'm pressing X and putting pickups near all the respawns, so when you're respawning you are picking up ammo. Ammo. And you want to save some for, I wish I would have made this bigger. Okay. You want to put some pickups where the action is too. So we've used 35 pickups. Say we want to put some sniper rifles. There's different snipers, top left corner. We'll add a few snipers. We'll put them one towards each wall. Put something in the middle. Heavy grenade launchers if you want. RPGs, miniguns, compact grenade launchers. Sometimes it's fun to just have a couple of these. Adds to the chaos. Place 4 of those. And you could add some knives. Some people like to, if you're a peace nick man, you like to stab people in death matches. Or smack them with your gun. You got armor. You also have parachutes if for some reason you need those. We'll place some armor. Pressing X to place the armor. I still got 11 things left. Maybe we want some shotguns just to mix it up. So we'll place the rest of them shotguns. You don't have to use all 60 if you don't want. And then there's vehicles. If you have a really big deathmatch, I suggest putting in some motorbikes or golf carts or something. You can also lock these vehicles if you don't want people driving them. Team restrictions up in the top left corner, locked. So no one can drive them. They're just there for show or for cover or to explode. You can put on bulletproof tires. You can turn the damage down or way up. You can change the color. And you can put all kinds of vehicles in here. Weaponized vehicles. On the top left there, see you got tanks. Put some bulldozers. Odd vehicles. Helicopters. I think there's there's special vehicles, which most of these are weaponized, if not all of them. No, but some of them are. And then there's weaponized, special weaponized, if you're making a vehicle-based deathmatch. And you just place, you have 32 vehicles total you can place throughout. I'm not going to place any of those. You can randomize. Will generate a quicker map by placing spawn points within. Yeah, it'll randomly place them for you, but I don't like that. I like placing my spawn points. So basically, and of course, you're going to want to place props for cover. Go play with your props and learn what you like, what you want to use, how to use them. Place that for cover. If you're used to making races, when you come into combats, there's props that aren't in here that are in races, like speed boosts and that lighting. But there is a lot of stuff you can use for cover or to break it up. This is very sloppy, obviously, but play some odd things. I back out. Back up. So here's test. Deathmatch details. Let's finish that. Take a photo. I'm in the top left corner in deathmatch details. Click on photo. It's always nice to have a really cool photo. Obviously, if this was nicely made, we would make a really nice photo. That's how that goes. Put the tags of your crews in here. You always have to put a comma That's in search tags. This deathmatch type we can change when you're hosting it. Time limit you can place, but that can also be changed. Target score can be changed while hosting. This can be changed. Locked weapons. Pretty sure I'm missing one thing here somewhere. Team details. Go into there. Team name. Just put whatever. Red coats, blue coats, explosives, thugs. Back code. Wanted level. I would just leave it unless for some reason you have cops in there. Then you can put that you start with wanted levels. Team forced weapon. You also have to back out. Deathmatch details we did up here. Forced weapon, the assault SMG, which you also placed all over. So back out, placement. Wait. No. Yes, it was in the same deathmatch details. So forced weapon. Now we're at the very bottom. We're finalizing our deathmatch. Team details. Team forced weapon. You also want to select that the same as your forced weapon, I believe. That's the weapon you're going to respawn with. So we'll put that as the same assault SMG. You have to cycle through all of them until you find it. Assault SMG. Now if you had placed blimps, you would put your blimp text here. Back out. Deathmatch creator. Now we'll go to test. Oh, and if you have, say you have elevation changes, ramps or stairs that you want to test while you're creating it, that big black square button that you change your view while you're racing, or you can go into first person or third person, press that. See, now I can run around just freely. The only thing with this is it doesn't let you roll or jump or climb, but you can run around, you can run up stuff. If you want to test your actual stairs or jumping or climbing, you have to test it. Press down on your D-pad and the big square button again to back out of that. So what I did, see your icon here, press the view button to change your view to go to this. Press down on the D-pad and press that again to back out. Now if you are creating a deathmatch and you have stairs you want to test or something to jump on or climb, and you don't want to place all your spawn points, go to deathmatch details, maximum players, set it to 2. Minimum players, set it to 2. Back out, placement, place 2 start points and 4 spawn points, and then back out, and then you can go to test, because the only way you can test climbing and actual jumping and rolling is in a test. So I think that's everything. We will test this. Click on test team 1. You have to test both teams. And you need 10 kills to pass your test. I think you can turn invincibility on, so let me check here. Invincibility on. Top left corner. I press down on the D-pad, invincibility is on. So if you want to run around and test your deathmatch, if you want to test your respawns, shut that off, and then you can let them kill you so you can test out your respawns. I got 11 kills, so now I can exit my test. You only need 10. So I've completed that one. Go down to test. test. Team 2. Twelve kills. Exit test completed. If you want to do an online test and you don't want to publish it, just click save in the top left corner. Save and then exit. As long as it's tested and saved, you can exit and play with it online without it being published. But the next step otherwise would be to click publish. See, it says publish your deathmatch. But I didn't want to do that. I will go back and delete that. And that's it. If this video has gone too fast or I've missed any info, please let me know. And I think I will do videos on LTSs and King of the Hills. And if you need anything else, let me know. I will make more videos. I am willing to do share plays too, or talk with you on the mic to talk you through what you need to know. Have a good one.